Tonight on CTV News at 6, RCMP again asking for help with a case connected to a cancelled Amber Alert. 2 children and 2 adults considered missing somewhere in Western Canada. An Edmonton area farm family's data centre frustration.
I just want the government and the industry to be responsible and accountable, and for them to know the truth. We're here.
And half a century in business, celebrating a 50-year run of steak, pizza, and Stanley Cups.
1984, the Oilers actually brought the Stanley Cup to the restaurant.
It's the hottest day so far this year, and we may cap it off with some storms overnight tonight. More storms possible tomorrow afternoon.
CTV Edmonton, local breaking news with Jeff Hastings.
Good evening. RCMP say today they are still looking for 2 children missing from northwestern Alberta a week after cancelling an Amber Alert for one of them. Connor Hogg is here now with more. And Connor, why was the Amber Alert taken down when the 2 children and 2 adults they're believed to be with had not been found?
Jeff, exactly a week ago, Alberta RCMP took down the Amber Alert, saying it no longer met the criteria for one, that there was no reasonable expectation that Albertans could assist in finding the group. Because of that, CTV News removed identifying details of the individuals involved. Beaver Lodge RCMP now say that the group is still considered missing. The adults are wanted by police for abduction in contravention of a custody or parenting order. The group was reported missing from Valhalla Centre near Grand Prairie. They could be traveling in Alberta as well as northern BC or the Yukon. RCMP say the group is very mobile. The 2 missing children are 6-year-old Lanakai Morrison and 4-year-old Carl Morrison. Lanakai Morrison has a slight build, long brown hair and brown eyes. Carl Morrison has blonde hair. 35-year-old Krista Morrison is Lanakai's mother. She's described as 5 feet 8 inches tall, with a medium build, long dark brown hair and brown eyes. 35-year-old Daniel Ludwig is Carl's father. He's 5 feet 11 inches tall, with a large build, brown hair and brown eyes. He was previously described as having a shaved head. RCMP believe the group is driving in a lifted 2006 red Ford F-350 with large tires. They may also be using a motorhome. The current missing persons alert covers Alberta, BC, and the Yukon. The previously issued Amber Alert for the group also covered the Northwest Territories. RCMP asked anyone with information about the group's whereabouts to contact them, and anonymous tips can be submitted through Crime Stoppers. Jeff?
All right, Connor, thank you. When the Premier announced Meta's new $13 billion AI data centre coming to Sturgeon County last week, she said it will be built in an industrial area away from people and food production. That came as a shock to a family that's run a farm in the area for more than a century. Jeremy Thompson reports.
Our family farm in approximately 1945.
The Onusco family has been farming this land in Sturgeon County since Kelly's grandfather established a homestead here more than a century ago.
Cereal grains, canola, oilseed, livestock. We had cattle, pigs, chicken.
Over time, their neighbors changed from farms to refineries and a fertilizer plant.
We've had concerns of dust. We've had concerns of noise. Light pollution.
The area was officially designated as the Industrial Heartland Zone in 1999, and while no homes or farms are allowed in the area, the Onuscos were permitted to stay. The next neighbor to move in will be Meta's recently approved $13 billion AI data center about 5 kilometers away. Onusco and his sister Linda were surprised to hear the Premier describe its location like this.
The Sturgeon Data Centre will be within Alberta's Industrial Heartland, which is a designated industrial zone not used for farming, residential housing, or food production.
If we look around, we see canola fields, we see wheat fields.
And we're here.
They fear it's a losing battle, but they want their presence to be considered.
I just want the government and the industry to be responsible and accountable, and for them to know the truth. We're here.
A government spokesperson tells CTV the land is industrial zoned and undeveloped. The zoning consultation and zoning decisions were made decades ago as the land was originally going to be home to multiple refineries.
This photo is from approximately 1992.
Only one family member now lives on the farm, and the fields are all leased to other farmers. It's a family legacy that's hard to let go of. The data center is expected to come online in the next 2 to 3 years. Jeremy Thompson, CTV News, Sturgeon County.
2 people were killed in a 2-vehicle crash west of Edmonton. People who live nearby say the intersection where it happened is dangerous and needs to change. Noah Rashad reports.
A mangled truck and SUV near the intersection of Highway 60 and Highway 627 in Parkland County. RCMP say a 69-year-old man and a 64-year-old woman were killed in the crash between these vehicles yesterday afternoon. Another person was seriously hurt.
And again, I've got family members, selfishly, that make that turn every day, and every day I just pray that they get home safely.
Chris Sheets is a local podcaster who lives nearby. He's been calling for changes to this intersection.
There's no left-hand turning light like the arrow. And it literally is beyond dangerous. And unfortunately, early this morning, we heard the sirens again. As soon as you hear them, you know what's happened. Another accident in that intersection.
This video was recorded 5 weeks ago, before yesterday's deadly crash.
If the right thing was done and there was a left-hand signal, all 4 directions, so many different accidents would be prevented.
Sheets says when there's congestion, making the left turn from Highway 60 to 627 can be incredibly dangerous, as it's difficult to see oncoming traffic.
You have to do one of 2 things. You have to stay in the intersection as that one vehicle and wait till the light turns red, and you're convinced everybody has stopped and make a safe turn, or you have to literally take a chance because you can't see if it's clear or not. We have left-hand signals all over the city, all over highways. I just don't know why this one's been left out.
A transportation ministry spokesperson says improvements for the intersection are included in the current provincial construction program, and the department has retained an engineering consultant to complete the design of intersection improvements, which may include further traffic signal improvements. Noah Rashad, CTV News, Edmonton.
The province says 7 cases of a diarrhea-causing parasite have been reported in Alberta. Provincial officials say 6 of the 7 cases are associated with recent trips to Mexico. None of them are linked to an outbreak in the United States, where nearly 7,000 people have become sick with diarrhea the last 6 to 7 weeks. The illness is unlikely to be life-threatening and can usually be treated with antibiotics. The Associated Press reports the source of the American outbreak is lettuce from Mexico used at Taco Bell locations in 5 U.S. states. Edmonton's mayor says he's a bit worried about the amount of time the province is spending on bike lanes in our city. Yesterday, Transportation Minister Devin Dreeshen revealed details about upcoming bike lane legislation at an information session in Edmonton. It followed the launch of an online portal for Albertans to share their complaints about bike lanes. Dreeshen says provincial legislation could require cities to complete traffic impact assessments for bike lanes and could result in existing lanes being removed. Mayor Andrew Knack says that doesn't seem like a constructive use of time or money.
At a time where I need to be widening roadways in suburban neighborhoods, which will cost us tens of millions of dollars or hundreds of millions of dollars, any money that is spent essentially undoing work means it's not money we're spending on goods movement and people movement, and that is far more important.
Knack says he met with the minister yesterday and he seemed receptive to the feedback. Former school board chair Tricia Estabrooks has launched her campaign to become the NDP candidate for Edmonton Strathcona. The seat is currently held by Alberta NDP leader Naheed Nenshi. He says he'll run for a seat in Calgary in the next election, scheduled for October 18th, 2027. Estabrooks spent nearly 10 years as a trustee and chair for the Edmonton Public School Board. She says she has strong ideas about public education and healthcare that she'd like to push for.
So we're at a moment as a party where the party is actively working on their platform, and I fully expect to see some strong policies come forward from the party as we get closer to that election.
Estabrooks still needs to win the nomination to run as the candidate in Edmonton Strathcona. She expects that vote could happen in the fall. The low-level bridges will be fully closed in both directions for restoration work starting at 8 p.m. tonight. In addition to the bridge, nearby portions of Connors Road and Scona Road will also be closed. There will also be closures to portions of 98th Avenue, the Grierson Hill access ramp, and the connections between Grierson Hill and McDougall Hill Road. The James McDonald Bridge will be open. The closures will be in place until 6 a.m. Monday. The weather and competition is heating up at KDays. The The participants of an ice cream eating contest were scarfing down scoops faster than it was melting. Curtis Goodrum has more on the interesting ways festival goers are beating the heat.
Oh wow, you are competitive. At the kickoff to KDays, everyone was screaming for ice cream.
The time's still clicking for
A man who just loves ice cream came out on top in this competition.
Do another lap, you guys.
It's really hot today, but the brain freeze kicked in a little bit, but I just kind of tried to power through it. I had no idea how everybody else was doing, so I just tried to keep going and power through it as best I can. So.
Although I'm not a big fan of the heat, this is a great way to beat the heat, and if you're going to be outside, you want to be eating ice cream, so we're glad to help.
KDays is known for its rides, concerts, and sometimes long lines. While waiting their turn, some guests are finding their own ways to keep cool.
I've had this for like years now. Every fair I've went to, I always bring it.
With my little fan and with a lemonade.
Oh, why'd you bring the fan?
Well, I know it's hot and you gotta have to be prepared, right?
Water stations are available for free fill-ups, and there are plenty of slush stations around too.
I mean, you just gotta go in the shade. It's really hot though. Yeah, no, honestly, gotta get the slushies, man. They're amazing. Slushies are where it's at. Oh yeah, they're really good. Absolutely.
If the mercury on the Midway is rising, organizers suggest visiting the Expo Center.
There's also misting stations throughout the grounds that you can walk through to cool off, and there is 150,000 square feet of programming inside the Expo Center where it is really nice and cool.
While temperatures are unlikely to climb this high during the entire 10-day festival, organizers hope visitors will find ways to chill. Curtis Goodrum, CTV News, Edmonton.
Right now, people are braving the heat for the Neon Skies Festival in Ice District. Here is a live look at Fan Park, where Natasha Bedingfield is on the main stage. Tonight will also feature artists including Miles Smith and Conan Gray. The festival continues tomorrow, where Kesha will headline. That looks warm from up here, Josh.
Yeah, it was the hottest day so far this year. We got to 31 for a daytime high. It's still feeling in the 30s once you factor in the humidity, so that's been another issue through the course of the day today. It is really muggy out there. We're at 29 in Edmonton right now, 27s, 28s outside the city, 24 the average daytime high, so 7 degrees above average today, and just 3 degrees off the record high of 34 from 2024. This is what it looks like outside right now. Had lots of sunshine this morning, but you can see the clouds have started to spread in. Those clouds coming in from the southwest off some severe thunderstorms in western parts of the province. Those storms are nowhere near Edmonton right now. You can see they're way, way off to the west of us, but they are throwing some cloud our way. We have heat warnings for the areas in pink in the southeast and across the north. Severe thunderstorm watches for the areas in yellow. Severe thunderstorm warnings in red, and that is a tornado warning in black. South of Edson and Hinton. It's actually south of Robb as well. Looks like it's almost right over top of Coal Valley Mine. It's just, that storm is, look at it spinning about there. It's not moving. So we'll continue to monitor that over the next little bit. You also have those severe storms further to the south, almost right over top of Nordegg, and then further to the north. Those ones producing some sizable hail and some heavy downpours. But look at how far all of that is from Edmonton and not really moving off of the foothills just yet. There is a chance late tonight, like midnight or later, for some showers or thunderstorms in the Edmonton area. And then tomorrow, the risk comes a little earlier in the day, somewhere around supper time. A little cooler as well. Still hot, but out of the 30s, 27 or 28 for a daytime high.
Thank you, Josh. Still ahead, centennial celebration.
For a century, the Legion has stood as a symbol of service, remembrance, and community.
How the Kingsway Legion is using its 100th anniversary to open its doors to new members. Also ahead.
The World Triathlon Cup is really the Olympic level athletes.
From triathlons to the Summer Games, it's a weekend of athletics in Edmonton. We'll let you know where you can take in all the action for free.
Programming brought to you by James H. Brown Injury Lawyers, the heavy hitters of injury law.
Special flag-raising ceremony was held this morning to mark the Royal Canadian Legion's 100th anniversary. As Amanda Anderson reports, while it's an occasion to celebrate, Legion members say it's also time to remember.
Quick, march!
A color guard marches into place outside the Kingsway Legion, where a small crowd gathered to celebrate a milestone.
For a century, the Legion has stood as a symbol of service, remembrance, and community.
The Royal Canadian Legion was founded in 1926 for veterans returning home from the war.
They have a place where they can get together and chat with people that have been through the same types of scenarios that they have been through in their military careers, and it just carries on as the brotherhood of the military.
Despite being a celebration of its 100 years, there was a moment of reflection.
The heat of the sun today is nothing like the heat of battle. And so this small moment in this hot sun is an honor to be able to remember those who have fallen, those who served.
The Legion has come a long way over the past century, from the days known as the Old Boys Club.
And you had to have military affiliation. That's no longer. Anybody can come and join the Legion. You fill out an application and apply and be accepted into the Legion. Male, female, anybody can come.
Many Legion branches, including Kingsway, have struggled to survive in recent years, but the city's mayor believes that too will change as the country invests more in defense.
I think they're going to see extreme growth, and I hope that as a community, as a city, we continue to support our Legions because the work they do is critical.
Legions are offering free membership during its centennial.
You don't have to be a veteran to join the Legion, and that's to try and open the doors to more people to be able to join and learn about the Legion and whatnot.
A place they hope will continue to bring veterans and community together for another 100 years. Amanda Anderson, CTV News, Edmonton.
Paw Patrol is on a roll at West Edmonton Mall, helping raise money for an organization training service dogs for families in need. Chase and Sky met fans at West Ed, supporting the Dogs with Wings Society. The organization trains and pairs assistance dogs with people in need. Families reserve their photo spot through a $5 donation, with the majority of the money going to the society. Dogs in training were also at the event, getting used to crowds.
Yeah, it's about raising awareness, letting people know that we're here, helping people understand what programs we offer and what our assistance dogs do. And it's a great environment because there's lots of families around, and that's a big part of our focus is to service families and communities in need.
All money raised will go towards the society's training costs. More than 2,000 young athletes are taking over Strathcona County this weekend for the Alberta Summer Games. The three-day event brings together top athletes from ages 11 to 16. It gives kids an opportunity to compete at a high level and showcase the next generation of talent. Athletes will compete in 13 different sports over the weekend, including rugby, tennis, and kayaking.
It might not look that hard when you're doing it, but these athletes spend a lot of time in the boat. A lot of them are training 2-3 times a week through the winter and up into the spring and up into this event. And they make it look easy.
The games are running at various locations around Strathcona, Edmonton, and Fort Saskatchewan. They are free to watch. Some of the world's top triathletes will be back at Horilac Park for the first time since 2021. More than 900 athletes are competing in the World Triathlon Cup. Edmonton has hosted the event several times until Horilac Park closed for renovations. Competitors can earn a title and Olympic qualification points.
The World Triathlon Cup is really the Olympic level athletes. So many of these athletes are racing around the world, qualifying for Olympic points. The Olympic qualification period for LA 28 just opened about 2 weeks ago. So we have a full field of men and women. Some of the top ranked men and women in the world are here chasing those valuable qualifying points.
So obviously I'm with the target of LA Olympics coming up. I'd love to go there and compete, not just participate.
You can watch the races for free, then stay and enjoy a family-friendly festival around the event. Still ahead, a wild ride.
My God, my stomach! I had that corn dog!
CTV Your Morning's Nicole Lampa gets more than she bargained for during an early look at KDays.
Hot and humid out there through this evening. It will cool off slightly through the weekend. We'll talk more about that, and we'll update you on those severe storms in western Alberta. right after the break.
Programming brought to you by Century Casino. 3 great locations: Edmonton, St. Albert, and Century Mile. Programming brought to you by James H. Brown Injury Lawyers, the heavy hitters of injury law.
Premier Danielle Smith spent another hot morning serving up breakfast ahead of KDays.
And not the same ones as yesterday. These are buttermilk pancakes.
This time, the Premier was at the KDays grounds welcoming people to one of Edmonton's biggest festivals. It wasn't as explosive as yesterday's pancake breakfast at the legislature, where a protester confronted Smith. The woman was escorted away and received a 24-hour ban from the Ledge grounds. Hundreds of people lined up for breakfast today ahead of the gate's grand opening. And CTV Your Morning's Nicole Lampa also got a sneak peek at KDays this morning, including the chance to try out a ride that may not have gone exactly as she planned.
Okay, we're at the top, and here we come on down. Oh my God, my stomach. I had that corn dog.
Oh, shit.
Some people would say we're cruel for doing this.
Yeah. This is Nicole's idea, by the way.
You know, watching Kent there was almost as funny as watching Nicole and listening to Nicole. Good job.
We all know that feeling, though, right? You can you can almost sense, I just had a corn dog, and now I'm spitting. Hey, by the way, shout out to Brandon Lynch.
Yes.
For the drone shots that you've been seeing tonight. Salute.
And every other day.
That is spectacular work tonight. Let's take a look through the River Valley sky cam. There's a bit of thin cloud cover out there filtering its way in from the southwest. 29 after hitting 31 for a daytime high earlier today. 31 in Fort McMurray for the high. 31, 32 in the Peace Country. Look at Medicine Hat and Jasper both hit 35 degrees. With the humidity, was feeling around 40 this afternoon in Medicine Hat. Heat warnings in effect across the north and in the southeast. This is just being updated now, so let's zoom in on that. There's a severe thunderstorm warning. There's a severe thunderstorm warning. You can see this cell around Nordegg, this one here off to the northeast of Grand Cache, and that one still looks like this is still a tornado. Yeah, they haven't dropped the tornado warning on that. Again, this is not posing any immediate threat to Edson, Hinton, anywhere back to the west, or even in this eastern part of that black zone. It is just spinning in place. As we said, it's south of Robb. So we'll continue to track that. That thing looks really nasty. Not only the potentially a tornado there, but also some sizable hail. You get hail there and hail coming off of these storms as well. As we pointed out, there's the cloud cover out ahead of those storms in the Edmonton area and all the way north and northeast, Slave Lake, Lac La Biche starting to get a little bit of that. But these storms are really not having any success coming off of the foothills and moving to the east. That may change late this evening and overnight tonight. See that twist right there? There you can see it. An upper low, and that's going to change the pattern as we head into Sunday, bring in some slightly cooler conditions, some cloudier conditions, and some scattered showers, and they'll start to move at us from the north as they wrap in behind that system instead of from the west and southwest like tonight and tomorrow. There's your thunderstorms, potentially severe storms in the Grand Prairie area mid-evening. Still nothing in the Edmonton area. It almost looks like there's a better chance that this develops north and northeast of the city instead of right over the city, but around midnight into the wee hours of tomorrow morning, there's a chance we'll see some thunderstorms in Edmonton, potentially some heavy rain coming off of this and a lot of lightning. Tomorrow gets going a little earlier. There's your chance of severe thunderstorms around Edmonton and off to the west, southwest, as well as back here further to the northwest. That'll be about supper time tomorrow for the Edmonton area. And then mid-evening, it kind of blows out of here. You see that spin? There it is, all wrapping back in. It's not going to rain heavy, steady all day Sunday, but there will be scattered showers and thunderstorms across most of central and northern Alberta for much of the day Sunday. 31 right now in Fort McMurray. It's 30 in Grand Prairie, still 34 in Medicine Hat, and 29 here in Edmonton, where it feels like 33. Humidex of 39 in Medicine Hat, 34 in Grand Prairie and Lloydminster. And it'll be a little humid again tomorrow, so it'll feel 4 or 5 degrees hotter than it reads on thermometers. There's your chance of storms overnight tonight, 27 or 28 for a high early tomorrow afternoon. Supper time storms possible. 23 Sunday, but Right back into some heat by Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday of next week.
Thank you, Josh. Still ahead on CTV News at 6, Canadians smoke American tariffs.
Good neighbors. If there's some politicians out there chirping away, well, maybe what you should do rather than complain is send support.
U.S. threats after Ontario wildfires and war in the Middle East intensifies. Stay with us. Heavy smoke from Canadian wildfires is affecting more than 120 million Americans. A number of U.S. politicians are demanding action, and today Donald Trump joined them. The U.S. president is threatening to increase tariffs on Canada to pay for the cost of the pollution. CTV's Joy Melvin reports.
Millions of Americans woke up to this. Cities shrouded in smoke and haze from the wildfires. Chicago, Detroit, and Washington, 3 of the most polluted cities. You can barely see the capital. The air quality, a code purple. And that's not good.
It smells like a campfire. I've been in and out of a car just taking care of errands this morning, and my throat is already sore. And my eyes are itching.
I'm wearing a mask because the air quality is very low from the wildfires coming from Ontario in Canada.
It was only a matter of time before some Americans began to blame Canada for the unhealthy air. The U.S. president said he's holding Canada responsible, calling it willful negligence, and says he will add the cost of this pollution to the tariffs Canada is currently paying. Ohio's Republican Senator Bernie Moreno threatened to sanction Canada and the responsible Canadian government officials for this atrocity. The wildfire smoke so enraged 4 Michigan Republicans, they sent a scathing letter to the Prime Minister claiming Canada hadn't managed its forests to prevent the fires. Ontario's Premier is pushing back.
I truly believe the Americans are good neighbors. If there's some politicians out there chirping away, well, maybe what you should do rather than complain is send support.
And ask the experts. They say it's not who, but what is to blame.
Until we cut that fossil fuel use down to zero and start actually stop the warming and start the cooling, we will face this. So it's ridiculous to blame Canada.
For the U.S. states affected, some relief this weekend. Rain and thunderstorms are in the forecast, and that will help clear the air. Joy Melvin, CTV News, Washington.
That smoke is the result of around 900 wildfires burning across the country, with Ontario being hit the hardest. Evacuation orders have been issued for a number of communities. CTV's Heather Wright has more.
So we got our building supplies.
With a massive forest fire burning about 5 kilometers away, Sean Dufresne has packed up whatever he can into his truck and trailer.
This is only the stuff that we can move. There's still 2 permanent residents that's going to burn.
The community of Uppsala is about 150 kilometers northwest of Thunder Bay. There's no evacuation order here, but people are being told to leave before things get worse.
There are a bunch of communities that have been overrun, and we could be one of them.
Uppsala Fire Chief Doug Keesbring says they are doing what they can to protect the town.
We'll put one sprinkler system on the roof.
Getting sprinklers in place to protect properties like the fire hall. But the town's resources are limited. And with so many fires burning, the province's resources are being stretched as well.
They have limited resources for a massive demand this year. This is probably the fire season of a lifetime.
And while rain this morning brought some reprieve, it was not enough.
We're just good for a little while. We bought a little bit of time, but we have in no way won the war.
Communities across the country are fighting battles against fierce and fast-moving wildfires. Roughly 900 fires are burning across the country, forcing thousands of people from their homes. Well, officials have promised more resources to battle the fires and help those affected by them. Many here in the north say they're not seeing enough action.
We might not be in southern Ontario, but we are in northwestern Ontario. We're still in Ontario. Like, do you not deserve some rights or something?
You feel forgotten?
I feel forgotten.
Today, Ontario's premier said more than 150 firefighters and over 80 water bombers and helicopters have been deployed to fight these fires. But with more than 190 burning across the province, including 20 new ones today alone, this is an ever-changing situation they are trying to respond to. Heather Wright, CTV News, Uppsala, Ontario.
Dozens of Alberta firefighters are helping out in Ontario. Alberta Wildfire has sent 94 firefighters and support staff to help battle wildfires. That province currently has 180 active wildfires compared to 18 in Alberta. Alberta Wildfire says its crews will likely be there for 2 weeks. It could send more support after that if Ontario is still in trouble. Transport Canada is looking into whether CN Rail broke the law after a crew had to be rescued from a train surrounded by flames.
This could potentially...
Video of the incident shows fire closing in on a train near Armstrong in northwestern Ontario. Transport Canada says the government is looking at whether CN failed to comply with rules under the Railway Safety Act. The company says rail operations in part of northwestern Ontario have been suspended. The crew did get out safely after fleeing on foot for more than a kilometre before they were rescued. Foreign Affairs Minister Anita Anand met with her Mexican counterpart in Ottawa today. It was the Foreign Secretary's first official visit to Canada. As CTV's Rachel Aiello reports, while the meeting was focused on advancing shared priorities, trade was inevitably the hottest topic.
A show of alignment today between Canada's Foreign Affairs Minister and Mexico's Foreign Secretary.
Mexico is a critical partner for Canada.
Though despite her Mexican counterpart asserting the two countries don't have any areas of friction,
we only have areas of opportunities.
Both are bracing for tense trade talks with the Americans, where they are trying to iron out different issues, an effort the Mexicans appear further ahead on.
Very difficult to compare the progress on those substantive points as a whole.
The U.S. has triggered annual reviews of the Trilateral Trade Pact, rather than the 16-year CUSMA renewal both Canada and Mexico wanted. Today, the Mexican foreign minister wouldn't say whether he'd be willing to cut a new deal with Donald Trump alone.
Whenever it's necessary, we also consult with each other. But of course, there are many issues with which we need to communicate directly with the United States.
One such issue for Canada, the Gordie Howe Bridge. Amid continued confusion over what was agreed to see it open, today the Conservatives called out the Prime Minister for what Pierre Poilievre characterized as contradictory statements, calling on Mark Carney to release the deal so Canadians can see for themselves what you negotiated away.
I think in due time it will come out, but right now it's likely just a negotiation tactic.
Minister Anand said today that as talks heat up, Canada will keep working on all fronts to strengthen both bilateral ties as well as the North American relationship as a whole. Rachel Aiello, CTV News, Ottawa.
In the Middle East, there appears to be a return to full-blown war as the United States and Iran traded more fire. The U.S. military expanded its airstrike campaign, hitting more bridges. Iranian state media reports at least 8 people were killed, 20 were injured. The latest strikes are part of President Trump's threats to hit infrastructure to pressure Tehran to ease its chokehold on the Strait of Hormuz. Iran launched new missile attacks against U.S. allies in the Middle East, including Qatar, a key mediator in the war. Andy Burnham has officially been elected leader of the United Kingdom's Labour Party and will become the country's next prime minister.
Make no mistake, everybody, I will be a pro-business leader of the Labour Party, as I was a pro-business mayor of Greater Manchester.
On Monday, Burnham will officially become prime minister, the 7th in a decade. His predecessor, Keir Starmer, stepped down last month following a rebellion within the Labour Party. Still ahead, keeping cool on the road.
This will actually make the AC efficient, will dry out the air more, and can save some fuel.
High temperatures in the forecast will tell you how to get the most out of your vehicle's AC. And
I thought we were normal guys in a normal family, and after watching it, I think we might be a little abnormal in a good way.
A local family taking their social media fame to the small screen for an RV-themed reality show. And there is a live look at Edmonton's Ice District from the CTV drone, the end of what has been the hottest day of the year. Stay with us.
Programming brought to you by KDays. The best 10 days of summer are back.
Wake up with us at CTV Your Morning Edmonton for the latest local news, up-to-the-minute weather, traffic updates, and lifestyle entertainment. There's no brighter way to start your day. CTV Your Morning Edmonton, weekdays 6 to 9. Watch live on Crave.
Checking on the markets, the Canadian dollar is up by more than 1/10 of a cent, sitting just over 71 cents U.S. Oil was up $3.50 to just below $82 a barrel. Gold down by $26.70. On the stock market, the TSX is down 76 points. The Dow Jones lost 406 on the day. The hot weather is here, which means your vehicle's air conditioning is likely running whenever you drive. CTV's Pat Foran has some tips to make sure you're getting the most out of your AC and even save some gas.
The first thing to know about quick cooling is that it's not the time to use your remote start because you won't do much to cool down your car and you'll be wasting fuel.
Your car's air conditioning works much better when you're actually driving because the faster the engine turns, the faster the AC compressor runs, which lets the system cool more effectively.
Your best option, start driving. Turn on the air conditioner and open all the windows for 10 to 20 seconds. Next, crank the fan. Once cold air starts flowing through the vents, roll up the front windows, but keep the rear ones cracked open for another 10 to 20 seconds to pull the cold air to the back of the car.
Adjust the AC temperature to its lowest setting and make adjustments to the fan speed and direction to keep you comfortable. This will actually make the AC efficient, will dry out the air more, and can save some fuel.
And if you have passengers in the back seat, make sure you turn off recirculation mode so the air in the back doesn't get stale and hot. Another tip, if you've got a newer car with an auto start-stop system, you may want to turn it off if you can. This feature saves fuel by shutting off the car's engine when you're stopped, but it may also shut off the car's AC compressor, something you'll want to keep running while you're stuck in stop-and-go traffic. And when you get a chance, check your cabin air filter to make sure it's clean. A dirty filter prevents optimal airflow, and on a hot day, you don't want anything between you and that sweet cold air. Pat Foran, CTV News.
It's been a tough summer for Edmonton gardeners, starting out cold and wet, followed by wind and hail. One expert says to keep a close watch on the forecast to prevent damage.
These storms come up so quickly, lots of times you don't have a chance to really prepare, but tarping and staking and, just doing the best you can that way.
Anita McDonald with Coolman's Garden Market says when it comes to standing water, gardeners can dig trenches to try and give it a way to drain. If your mulch is saturated, she says, spreading it out will give it space to dry during hotter stretches. She says it's already been a season of slow growth and replanting for many of her customers. A rural Alberta family from east of Edmonton is bringing their RVs to your TV. Jagger and Dawson Glowatsky are the owners of Young Farts Trailer Parts and the stars of a new show. They started making videos for social media and say somehow it blew up into this. The show follows them, their family, and their business through everyday life in Vegreville.
It's just us two guys that didn't graduate trying to make a go of it with mom and dad and our employees. And I think it's entertaining. I thought we were normal guys in a normal family, and after watching it, I think we might be a little abnormal in a good way.
You can watch the show now on Amazon Prime Video. A man from Red Deer will rock out and represent Canada on the world stage. Cat Friday has been crowned the air guitar champion of Canada. By day, he's known as Tyler Gardner, a man with a dream of making it all the way to the Air Guitar World Championships. After years of getting close, he's now on his way. Gardner says air guitar is a skill he's honed by playing along to songs on the radio. He says judges are looking for charisma, technical ability, and what Gardner calls airness.
It's the hardest to explain and it's the hardest to train. It's one of those things that, the old quote, you know it when you see it. And it's that ability for, you as a crowd member or a judge to be completely overtaken and forget that you're watching an air guitar performance. And
the judges must have recognized Gardner's airness, and he'll be leaving for the Worlds in Finland in August. Gardner says the event is all about promoting world peace, following its creator's vision that people will stop doing bad things if they just pick up an air guitar. Still ahead, at Edmonton Institution celebrating 5 decades serving pizza and steak.
There's so few restaurants in the city that have reached that milestone that it is unbelievable.
Stay with us. We've got another full night of great shows for you tonight on CTV.
A local restaurant is marking 50 years of serving up good food and plenty of laughs. Coliseum Steak and Pizza has seen many celebrations at its tables as well as its share of challenges. Nerman Issa has more on how the owners found a way to keep the food flowing.
For 50 years, Coliseum Steak and Pizza has been a staple on 118th Avenue. The family-run business opened its doors in 1976. Demetrius Skordas was 17 years old working the till.
I remember working, but I wasn't old enough to serve alcohol.
She has now taken over part ownership. The owners say the recipe for success is simple.
Great customer service, good food, consistency, reasonable prices. You can't go wrong.
People like to be looking after, you know. And when you go to a restaurant and they give you good service, you talk about the restaurant.
The restaurant shares its name with another 118th Avenue landmark, the Northlands Coliseum. The Edmonton Oilers are a part of the restaurant's identity, creating some core memories.
My favorite is a picture of my son in the Stanley Cup 1984. The Oilers actually brought the Stanley Cup to the restaurant.
There were plenty of highs and lows for the restaurant. The COVID pandemic, high grocery costs, and the arena closing in 2016 created major challenges.
Just remember a lot of people saying, are you still going to be able to survive after the Coliseum closed? And fortunately, we pulled through.
There's so few restaurants in the city that have reached that milestone that it is unbelievable.
It's not just the owners who are generational.
A lot of people have been coming here since they were kids. Now they're grown up and you see them come back with their own kids, which is really neat to see.
Customers say eating here is a must.
It just stays the same. It's very friendly and the food is excellent. Good quality for the dollars, that you spend. And
it gets to be a habit. This is where you come.
I think it's that unique thing where they remember you and that gives it sort of special meaning to you as you come in.
The Coliseum Steak and Pizza says while they celebrate 50 years, they're already looking forward to many more to come in the heart of 118th Avenue. Nerman Issa, CTV News, Edmonton.
All right, now I'm hungry. Looks like a good place to go.
Yeah, I could go for some steak right now.
Yeah, that's good. There's that storm you mentioned earlier.
Still there, still not really moving all that much. Environment Canada is saying it's moving east at about 20 kilometers per hour. It's about 20 kilometers southeast of Robb. Poses no threat to Hinton and Edson, but anybody that's just east or southeast of the northernmost purple spot that you see there, south of Edson, if you haven't already taken cover and you're in that area, you need to immediately. That is not going to come even close to the Edmonton area, but around midnight or wee hours of tomorrow morning, we might see some showers or thunderstorms in the Edmonton area. Tomorrow, mix of sun and cloud, about 27, 28 degrees. It's probably going to feel 2 or 3 degrees hotter than that with the humidity. And then around supper time, chance of some thunderstorms. Again, possibly some severe thunderstorms in the area. Scattered showers for Sunday and a little bit cooler before it heats up again next week. I think by the end of next week, we're back to 30s and 31s.
All right, sounds great. Thank you, Josh, and thank you very much for sharing your time with us. Have a great weekend, everyone. See ya.
See ya.